The slap echoed through Lotte World Mall like a gunshot. My head snapped to the side, the metallic taste of blood flooding my mouth as designer shopping bags scattered across the marble floor. Pain bloomed across my cheek, sharp and humiliating. Hundreds of eyes turned toward me during Seoul Fashion Week's after-party. Camera phones lifted like weapons. I stood frozen in my emerald silk dress, feeling the weight of every stare. "Stay away from my wife, you desperate stalker," Marcus snarled, standing over me with his hand still raised. 4 years. For years since he'd stolen everything from me and vanished. For years since he'd left me broken and homeless. And now he didn't even recognize me. His new wife, a Korean socialite in head-to-toe Chanel, clutched his arm and sneered at me like I was trash beneath her custom Louboutins. Security guards moved toward us. The crowd whispered and recorded. My vision blurred with tears of rage and shock. Then my phone rang. The screen read, "Yobo Red Heart, husband" in Korean. Marcus's eyes dropped to my hand. To the diamond ring that cost more than his car. His face went pale. "Before we continue with this incredible story, please take a moment to comment below and let me know where you're watching from. What city? What country? I love connecting with viewers from all around the world. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our powerful stories of love, survival, and redemption. Your support means everything to me. Now let's get back to Naomi's journey. My hands trembled as I answered. "Hello. Where are you?" The voice was cold steel wrapped in silk. "Kang Ji-Woo, my husband. Seoul's most dangerous man. Are you hurt?" "I'm fine," I whispered, but my voice cracked. Blood dripped from my split lip onto my dress. "Don't lie to me, Naomi." His tone dropped to something deadly. "Put me on speaker." I obeyed with shaking fingers. Ji-Woo's voice filled the space between us, speaking rapid Korean. Every security guard in the mall suddenly stood at attention. The head of security went white, speaking urgently into his radio. Marcus's wife, Yuna, stumbled backward, her hand flying to her mouth. She recognized that voice. Everyone in Seoul's elite circles knew Kang Ji-Woo, her father's biggest rival. The man even powerful families feared. 6 minutes, Ji-Woo said in English, for my benefit. "I'm 6 minutes away. Don't let him leave." The line went dead. Mall management began frantically clearing VIPs from the area. Marcus looked between me and the phone, confusion morphing into fear. He still didn't understand what he'd done. While we waited, my mind dragged me back through hell. 4 years ago, Marcus had been my everything. We met in college, fell in love over late-night study sessions and shared dreams. I worked 2 jobs to support us through his graduate program. He promised marriage, promised forever. Then Mom got cancer. Stage 4. I emptied my savings for her treatment, took out loans I couldn't afford. Marcus held my hand through every hospital visit, swore he'd help me through it. 2 weeks after Mom died, he was gone. He took the $8,000 I had left, my laptop with my entire design portfolio, and disappeared. No note. No explanation. Just blocked numbers and empty promises. I found out later he'd been cheating with a Korean exchange student. The same woman now clinging to his arm. Yuna. They'd laughed while packing his things from our apartment. She'd worn my jewelry. I spent a year homeless, sleeping in my car, working 3 jobs just to eat. The grief of losing Mom and Marcus nearly destroyed me. Seoul was supposed to be my escape. My fresh start. A convoy of black SUVs screeched into the mall's VIP entrance. The crowd parted like water. 8 men in tailored suits emerged first, moving with military precision. Then he stepped out, Kang Ji-Woo. 6'2", moving like a predator in a Tom Ford suit that probably cost more than Marcus's startup. His dark eyes swept the scene, found me, and something dangerous flickered across his face. He walked past Marcus without a glance, came straight to me. His hands cupped my face with devastating gentleness, tilting my head to examine my split lip and the finger marks blooming purple on my cheek. Who? One word. Glacial calm. I didn't need to answer. His eyes had already found Marcus. Ji-Woo turned slowly. When he spoke, his voice carried absolute authority. You put your hands on my wife? Marcus tried to stammer something. An apology. An excuse. Ji-Woo held up one finger. Silence fell like a hammer. You have 10 seconds to tell me why I shouldn't break every bone in your hand. Ji-Woo's head of security appeared with a tablet. My husband had Marcus investigated in the 8 minutes since my call. He began reading aloud in perfect English. Marcus Chin. Age 32. Your startup is funded entirely by your wife's father. You're $340,000 in debt from gambling. The $8,000 you stole from Naomi Turner 4 years ago went to a loan shark in Atlanta. Marcus's face drained of color. Yuna stared at him in horror. You have 2 other victims. Jessica in Atlanta, you took $12,000 claiming your mother needed surgery. She didn't. Nicole in Los Angeles, you stole her car and sold it. Ji-Woo's voice remained perfectly calm, which made it more terrifying. Should I continue? How did you? Marcus started. I own 34% of your father-in-law's company through shell corporations, Ji-Woo said. He works for me. He just doesn't know it yet. My breath caught. I knew Ji-Woo was powerful, but this was something else. He made another call. 3 sentences in Korean. Yuna's phone rang. Her father's screaming voice carried across the space. Yuna's hands shook as she listened to her father. Her face crumbled, tears ruining her perfect makeup. When she hung up, she looked at Marcus with pure betrayal. He froze my cards. Your company lost its investor. Our penthouse lease is terminated. Her voice rose to a shriek. What did you do? I did nothing. Marcus grabbed her arm. This is insane. She's the one who, don't touch her, Ji-Woo said quietly. 2 of his men stepped forward. I found my voice then, looking at Yuna directly. You knew. You were sleeping with him while he was engaged to me. You helped him pack his things from our apartment. You wore the necklace he bought with my money to Sarah's wedding. Yuna's mouth opened and closed. Every excuse died unspoken. You have 48 hours to vacate, Ji-Woo told them. I'm buying the building. You can't do this, Marcus said desperately. I already did. Ji-Woo wrapped his arm around my waist. Come, Naomi. We're leaving. As we walked away, I heard Marcus fall to his knees, begging. I didn't look back. I in the car, Ji-Woo held my hand while I shook. Tell me what you need. I need to understand how this happened, I whispered. How did I end up here? With you. He smiled, that rare soft expression he saved only for me. You saved my sister. Remember? I did. 18 months ago, I was teaching English at a private academy. Ji-Woo's teenage sister Hannah was my student. She'd been getting blackmailed by classmates over photos. I'd helped her, gone against wealthy parents who wanted it buried, protected her when others wouldn't. Ji-Woo had shown up to thank me personally. Asked me to dinner. I declined, maintaining professional boundaries. He kept coming back. Every week, a different reason. Language exchange. Cultural questions. Investment opportunities. On his 7th visit, I'd broken down in the parking lot. Stress and loneliness crushing me. He'd held me while I sobbed, asking nothing in return. That's when everything changed. Our courtship had been slow, careful. Ji-Woo learned everything about my past, never pushed, never demanded. He paid off Mom's remaining medical debt anonymously. I didn't find out until months later. He hired the best therapist in Seoul for my grief. Showed up at 2 a.m. when nightmares about Marcus woke me screaming. He was patient when I flinched at raised voices, gentle when I pulled away from touch. He told me about his world too. The legitimate businesses and the gray areas. The family legacy he'd inherited at 25 when his father was killed. How people respected and feared him, but never loved him except for Hannah. "I'm not a good man, Naomi," he'd said one night on his penthouse balcony. "I've done things that would horrify you. You've been nothing but good to me," I'd whispered back. 3 months into our relationship, I'd proposed to him. Not the other way around. "You make me feel safe. You make me feel seen." That's all I ever wanted. We married in a private ceremony 4 months ago. 12 people attended. Best day of my life. Over the next 48 hours, I watched Marcus's life implode from the safety of our penthouse. His startup collapsed. Employees quit en masse. Yuna's father filed for divorce from her mother, revealing a second family. Yuna was cut from the family will. Their luxury car was repossessed outside a restaurant. Viral video and all. Marcus's alumni network dropped him after financial irregularities surfaced. His LinkedIn became a confession board where other women shared their stories. Then I got a message request on Instagram. 2 women. Jessica and Nicole. Marcus's other victims. "We saw the mall video," Jessica's message read. "We've been looking for him for years. Can we meet?" I showed Ji-Woo. He nodded once. "I'll arrange security. And I want to hear their stories. Every detail." "Why?" I asked. His eyes were dark steel. "Because I'm building a case. Fraud. Theft. Blackmail. When I'm done, he'll spend years in prison." I should have felt satisfaction. Instead, I felt hollow. Marcus had hurt so many women. How many more were out there? We met at a cafe in Gangnam. Jessica was a lawyer from Atlanta, sharp-eyed and guarded. Nicole was a photographer from LA, quiet but intense. Both looked at me like I was a miracle. "We've been trying to find him for 3 years, Jessica said. "He took $12,000 from me. Told me his mother needed surgery. She was fine. He stole my car," Nicole added. "Sold it while I was visiting family. Blocked me everywhere. I almost lost my job because I couldn't get to work." We shared our stories. The same pattern. The same lies. The same casual cruelty. Ji-Woo arrived halfway through, uninvited but not unwelcome. He listened to everything, his expression unreadable. When they finished, he pulled out a legal pad. "I need details. Everything he took. Every promise he broke. Bank statements if you have them. Text messages. Anything." "Why?" Nicole asked. "Because I'm going to bury him," Ji-Woo said simply. "And I need all of you to help me do it." A week later, Yuna showed up at our penthouse. Security almost turned her away, but I told them to let her up. She looked destroyed. No makeup, hair unwashed, wearing jeans and a sweatshirt instead of designer labels. She stood in our doorway crying. "I'm sorry," she said. "I'm so sorry for everything. I should have slammed the door. Instead, I let her in." She confessed everything. Marcus had manipulated her too. Told her I was abusive, that he needed to escape. She'd believed him because she was young and stupid and wanted to believe she was saving him. Now she was broke, jobless, realizing her entire marriage was built on lies. "I found texts on his phone," she said, voice breaking. "He's been planning to leave me. There's a Japanese heiress he met online. He was going to do to me what he did to you." She handed me a folder. Marcus's financial records. Passwords to his accounts. Evidence of fraud Ji-Woo's team hadn't found yet. "I want him to pay," Yuna said. "For all of us." Yuna, Jessica, Nicole, and I formed an alliance nobody expected. Ji-Woo provided resources, lawyers, investigators, security when needed. We discovered Marcus's pattern went back 10 years. At least 7 women. Same tactics every time. Target successful women going through hard times, offer support, embed himself in their lives, steal, vanish. Then we found something that stopped my heart. A suicide. 3 years ago. A woman named Michelle. She'd jumped from her apartment building 2 weeks after Marcus cleaned out her accounts. Her family never knew why. The police ruled it depression. We knew better. I sat in our bathroom for an hour crying. Ji-Woo found me there, held me while I shook. He killed her, I whispered. Not directly, but he did. I know. His voice was gentle. We're going to make sure her family knows the truth. And we're going to make sure he never does this again. How? Leave that to me. Marcus tried to fight back. A threatening email arrived, claiming he had intimate photos from our relationship. He'd release them and ruin my reputation in Seoul's conservative society. I panicked. Ji-Woo didn't. His tech team traced the email to a love motel in Itaewon. Ji-Woo sent his men, not to hurt Marcus, but to retrieve his laptop and phone. The photos didn't exist. It was a desperate bluff. But Marcus's devices contained evidence of blackmail attempts against other women. Now he'd committed multiple crimes across multiple countries. He keeps digging himself deeper, Ji-Woo said, almost amused. At this rate, he'll be in prison until he's 50. The FBI got involved for the American victims. Korean prosecutors built their own case. Between all of us, we had an airtight web. Marcus had nowhere to run. And then he made his biggest mistake. He tried to threaten Hannah, Ji-Woo's sister, thinking she was a weak point. I'd never seen my husband truly angry until that moment. Ji-Woo's response was surgical and brutal. Every asset Marcus had hidden, every lie he'd told, every person he'd scammed. All of it went public. News outlets ran exposés. Marcus's face was everywhere, labeled as a con artist and predator. His father disowned him publicly to save the family business. Yuna's father, desperate to salvage his reputation, threw Marcus under the bus. Offered to testify against him in exchange for leniency in his own scandals. Marcus was charged with wire fraud, theft, blackmail, and identity theft. He'd opened credit cards in victims' names. The evidence was overwhelming. But despite everything, I felt myself breaking. One night, I sobbed in Ji-Woo's arms. What if I'd reported him years ago? What if Michelle would still be alive? Stop. He held me tighter. You survived. You rebuilt your life. You're helping these women now. That's what matters. I want to face him, I said suddenly. Before the trial. I need to tell him what he destroyed. Ji-Woo studied my face. Are you sure? Yes. The meeting was arranged in a private room. Marcus sat handcuffed, flanked by lawyers. He looked smaller somehow, diminished by consequences. I'd written a letter. My hands shook as I read it. You took my money, my trust, my hope. You abandoned me when my mother was dying. You stole my dignity and my dreams. But you didn't break me, Marcus. I'm stronger than you ever knew. I found love you'll never understand. I built a life you can't touch. And now I'm making sure you never do this to anyone again. He tried to interrupt, to justify, to minimize. I cut him off. I'm 3 months pregnant. My child will grow up knowing their father is a good man who protects the people he loves. You'll grow old in a cell knowing you destroyed the only real love you ever had. His face crumbled. Finally, he understood what he'd lost. We left him there, still trying to speak, his words falling on deaf ears. The trial was a media circus. Marcus's lawyer tried to paint him as a victim of circumstances, a man who made mistakes but didn't deserve prison. All 7 women testified. I went first, telling the story of abandonment and theft. Jessica and Nicole followed. Then Yuna, explaining how she'd been manipulated too. Michelle's mother gave a victim impact statement that left the courtroom in tears. She'd brought photos of her daughter, achievements Marcus had helped destroy. The evidence was overwhelming. Financial records, text messages, testimony from a dozen witnesses. Marcus's lawyer quit mid-trial after discovering Marcus had lied to him too. The judge assigned a public defender who barely tried. The verdict came quickly. Guilty on all counts. Sentencing, 8 years in Korean prison, then extradition to the United States for additional charges, plus restitution to all victims. As they led him away, Marcus looked at me one last time. I felt nothing. No satisfaction. No anger. Nothing. He was already gone from my life. Yuna divorced Marcus while he awaited transfer to prison. She was completely cut off from family wealth but refused Ji-Woo's financial help. I need to do this myself, she said. I need to prove I can stand on my own. She got a job, started therapy, and publicly apologized to all of Marcus's victims. Some forgave her. Some didn't. She accepted both with grace. Then came an unexpected twist. Yuna's father's company collapsed due to unrelated corruption. Ji-Woo bought it for a fraction of its worth, restructured it completely. He offered Yuna a real position based on merit. She'd majored in business, had actual skills beyond being a socialite. I don't deserve this, she told me when I visited her new office. No, I agreed. But everyone deserves a second chance. I got mine. Now it's yours. We'd never be best friends. But we understood each other. Both of us had survived Marcus in different ways. With the trial over, I channeled everything into a new project. The Phoenix Foundation, named for Rising from Ashes. Resources for women recovering from financial abuse and intimate partner fraud. Emergency housing. Legal aid. Job training. Therapy. Financial literacy classes. Ji-Woo provided initial funding. Settlements from Marcus's case added more. Donations poured in after media coverage. We opened in a renovated building in Gangnam. 20 beds, offices, classrooms, a child care center. The opening ceremony was packed. Press. Donors. Survivors. Michelle's family donated $500,000 in her memory. Her name became our scholarship program. Applications flooded in. Women from across Asia. Stories that mirrored mine. I read every single one. You're changing lives, Ji-Woo said, watching me work late one night. I'm trying to make sure what happened to me never happens to anyone else, I replied. But the universe had other plans. A Korean news outlet ran a hit piece on me. Vicious and racist, it questioned my motives, suggested I'd trapped Ji-Woo for money, implied the foundation was money laundering. They dug into my past, twisted facts, painted me as a gold digger who'd manipulated a powerful man. I read it in our kitchen, hands shaking with rage. Ji-Woo came home to find me crying. He read the article, his expression darkening with every paragraph. I know who paid for this, he said quietly. The Choi family. They want to discredit me through you. What are we going to do? I asked. I'm going to destroy them. His voice was flat, final. No. I stood up. We fight this legally or not at all. I won't let you become a monster for me. We argued for the first time in our marriage. Ji-Woo thought I was naive. I thought he was too quick to violence. Finally, I made a decision. I'm going public. My way. I contacted a major news network and asked for an interview. No scripts. No restrictions. Just me, telling my truth. The interviewer was tough but fair. I told her everything. Marcus. The abuse. The homelessness. Meeting Ji-Woo. The foundation. Some people say you married for money, she said. I married for love, I replied. Everything else came after. My husband is complicated, yes. His world is darker than mine. But he's never been anything but good to me. That's all that matters. What about the foundation accusations? Every penny is accounted for. Our books are open. Anyone can audit us. We're helping real women with real problems. That's not a scam. That's justice. The interview aired prime time. 12 million views in the first day. Comments overwhelmingly supportive. The Choi family backed down. The news outlet that ran the hit piece issued a retraction. I'd won without Ji-Woo's methods. Proved that truth was stronger than intimidation. He kissed me after. I'm proud of you. And terrified of you. I laughed. Good. 2 months later, I went into labor early. Stress from everything had taken its toll. Ji-Woo was in a business meeting 2 hours away. I called him between contractions. The baby's coming. He abandoned everything. His driver later told me they hit 150 kilometers per hour on the highway. Ji-Woo arrived at the hospital 10 minutes before delivery, still in his suit, completely terrified. You're here, I gasped. Always, he promised. Our daughter was born healthy, screaming, perfect. We named her Luna. Light that came after darkness. Holding her, I felt complete for the first time in years. A week later, a letter arrived from prison. Marcus's handwriting. I almost threw it away. Read it, Ji-Woo said gently. Then decide. It was a real apology. No excuses. No self-pity. Just accountability. He was in therapy, facing what he was, understanding the damage he'd caused. I don't expect forgiveness, he wrote. I just needed you to know I finally understand what I destroyed. I read it, cried, then burned it in our fireplace. I don't forgive him, I told Ji-Woo. But I'm free of him. Finally. 1 year later, the foundation was thriving. We'd helped over 200 women. Success stories poured in daily. Yuna was now director of operations, completely rebuilt. Jessica and Nicole visited for our anniversary gala, both healed and thriving. Marcus was still in prison. 6 more years to go. Nobody spoke his name anymore. Then I got a call. Another woman, connected through the foundation. Same pattern. Different man. Same devastation. I realized Marcus wasn't unique. The system that enabled men like him was still broken. We need to expand, I told Ji-Woo. International. We need to help women everywhere. Then we will, he said. Whatever you need. We began planning. Branches in other countries. Educational programs in schools. Awareness campaigns. The Phoenix Foundation became more than a shelter. It became a movement. 2 years after the slap, I stood in Lotte World Mall again. Same location. Different circumstances. The Phoenix Foundation was hosting a Seoul Fashion Week charity event. The place where I'd been publicly humiliated was now where I was being honored for humanitarian work. Ji-Woo stood beside me, holding Luna. She was 2 now, curious and fearless. His sister Hannah helped coordinate the event. We raised $2 million that night. Money that would change hundreds of lives. Cameras flashed. The same people who'd recorded my assault now celebrated my success. I didn't care about their hypocrisy. I cared about the mission. As we left, I saw a young woman in the corner, crying on the phone. Her body language screamed distress. I approached carefully. Are you okay? Do you need help? She looked up ashamed. My boyfriend he took everything. My savings. I don't know what to do. I handed her my card. Come see me tomorrow. You're not alone anymore. She came to the foundation the next day. Her name was Sarah. Her story was heartbreakingly familiar. We got her into emergency housing, connected her with a lawyer, enrolled her in therapy. Within a month, she was standing on her own feet. 6 months later, she got a job, started rebuilding, began to smile again. "You saved my life," she told me. "No," I said. "You saved yourself. I just showed you the door. You walked through it." She became a volunteer, helping other women the way we'd helped her. The cycle continued. That's when I understood. This was bigger than Marcus, bigger than revenge. This was about breaking patterns that had existed forever. One woman at a time, one story at a time, one life at a time. Ji-Woo found me in my office late one night, crying over applications. "What's wrong?" he asked. "Nothing's wrong," I said. "Everything's right. And I just wish I could help all of them at once." He kissed my forehead. "You will. One day at a time." 3 years after the slap, I received notification of Marcus's parole hearing. He was eligible for early release due to good behavior. The foundation sent a representative to read a statement. I didn't attend. I'd moved on completely. "We hope Marcus Chan finds peace," the statement read. "But he'll never be part of our story again. We've grown beyond him. The women he hurt have healed and thrived. That's the only closure we need." Marcus was denied parole. Not as punishment, but because he was still paying restitution. Justice, not revenge. I never thought about him again. I was too busy saving lives. The foundation expanded to 5 countries. We'd helped over 1,000 women. Luna was starting preschool. Hannah was engaged. Yuna was thriving. Jessica and Nicole were both married to good men. And me? I was exactly where I was meant to be. That slap in the mall had been the catalyst. The moment everything changed. It hurt like hell. But it led me here. To purpose. To peace. To a love that would burn the world down for me, but never burn me. I was Naomi Kang. Survivor. Fighter. Phoenix. And my story was just beginning. Thank you so much for staying with Naomi's journey until the very end. If this story touched your heart, moved you, or inspired you in any way, please do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications so you never miss our powerful stories of survival, love, and redemption. Drop a comment below telling me where you're watching from. I love hearing from viewers all around the world. What part of Naomi's story resonated with you most? Have you or someone you know experienced something similar? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your engagement helps this channel grow and allows us to create more inspiring content. If you know someone who needs to hear this message, someone who needs to know they can rise from their ashes too, please share this video with them. Like this video if you believe in second chances and the power of love to heal. Thank you for being part of this amazing community. I'll see you in the next story. Until then, remember, you are stronger than whatever tried to break you.